morning to everybody. Good morning. Welcome to another thrilling edition of the morning program, Island Tea. And I just want to wish everyone a wonderful day. Today is the 3rd of November, 2023. And those persons who are at work now, I hope that you do enjoy your day at work. Those persons who are heading to work, travel safely. And those persons who may be on vacation or just taking a day off or time off, I hope that you have a day well spent. In fact, we have noticed certain occurrences just happening yesterday, and it was really highlighted in the news. I think persons will know about it. It is actually the situation that happened, or the incident that happened in Sadler's Secondary School. And I try to search for information from whether the Ministry of Education or maybe the police force. I have not seen an official statement from there, but I have seen other people report on it, and so I look at Bucky Got It, and I see that there's a statement that has been released from that site. I really tried I googled it, and I didn't see.
The Ministry of Education Media Unit put out
Okay.
a statement, a very blast statement, indicating that school closed at 10. And so students and teachers are to be teaching and learning on the virtual platform. I'll send it to you via WhatsApp.
Okay, excellent.
As well as there isn't a decision if school would be in person today. So I'm not sure if they took that decision retroactively after the teachers and the students and the parents decided, but there was a statement.
Okay, that's good. I thought might have been a I was also thinking about a statement in terms of describing or even giving information as to what occurred, because there are other news sources that are giving information in terms of, as I said, the Bucky Got It. If you read from there, it says information reaching this media house that on Wednesday, 1st November 2023, it's alleged that a student of the Sadler's Secondary School entered the school compound with a gun with the intent to harm another student. However, that student was not present at the time. An eyewitness said that the individual made his way and hit the gun. So that is what other sources are saying. And so I haven't seen any information in relation to the incident, describing the incident that occurred. But you have said that the school is now has been on hold as it relates to face-to-face learning.
Yeah, that was as of yesterday. Miss Orchard, she has all things school and education. I can't even find it in my phone. But the Ministry of Education, allegedly,
yes,
put out a disclaimer that there is no school based on the disruption. And so the teachers and students would be engaging each other virtually.
Yeah, and I think that this situation really needs some sort of intervention. And the reason why I said, okay, so I am now given a statement from the police,
The police send you a statement?
Yes, so I have it. I'm grateful. I'm so grateful. So it says statement re Sadler's Secondary School incident. And I'm happy because it means that persons are listening. And
I'm here like, send you? I'm like, well, we arrive. Like, how to arrive where the police send me?
So I am grateful. Thank you so much. So it says on October 31st, 2023 at approximately 6 p.m., the Royal St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force was officially informed of a possible security breach. October 31st, 2023.
No, 6 p.m.
Yeah, it says 6 p.m.
Sure I heard the time. Okay.
Yeah. So it seems like this happened. It seems like there was communication even before yesterday. That's what I'm gathering. So I'm going to read it again. So it says on October 31st, 2023 at approximately 6 p.m., the Royal St. Christopher and Nevis police force was officially informed of a possible security breach at the Saddlers Secondary School. According to the report received, some students had allegedly observed what appeared to be a firearm in a storeroom at the school earlier that day. A subsequent search of the storeroom by the school security officer yielded no results. Fully acknowledging the serious nature of the report, police officers went to the school the following day and they supervised the customary entry security screening of students at the start of the school day. On November 2nd, 2023, the school compound and its parameters and its perimeter, were thoroughly searched in a joint investigative effort between the Royal St. Christopher Nevis Police Force and the Custom Canine Unit. This was done to ensure the compound was free of contraband and to further address additional security concerns expressed by students and staff alike. The joint search produced no illegal item or contraband. As the Federation's primary law enforcement agency, the maintenance of peace, law, and order are paramount priorities for the Royal St. Kitts and Nevis Police Force. All reports made to the police are regarded with the high level of importance, and even more so when the presence or use of illegal weaponry is allegedly involved. Thus, the force staunch zero tolerance stance to those who persistently choose to create a life outside of the nation's legal parameters continues to bear fruit. Our quest for justice will neither slow nor cease. We continue to encourage persons who may have information of criminal activity to call the nearest police station or the Crime Stoppers Hotline 707. The St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force will maintain a high level of vigilance as we work to safeguard the well-being of our communities and communal assets within that serve and empower our people.
I just want to say it's a big deal when the St. Kitts Nevis police force sends you a report so that you can read it on air and share it with the community.
I want to say that's grateful. I'm really grateful because it means that the individual was listening and, at the time, charged with the information so to distribute. Okay. And so I am really thankful. It says and I got another one. It says the Ministry of Education addressed reported firearm sighting at SSS. So here it says, and I got it from the officer as well, it says the Ministry of Education was informed by Sadler Secondary Administration of a firearm observed on the premises. According to Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Education, Mrs. Lisa Pistana, the Ministry immediately reported the matter to the Royal St. Kitts and Nevis Police Force. This resulted in officers being dispatched to the school, where they gave support to the school's security. To ensure the safety of the staff and students, an extensive search was carried out on Thursday, November 2nd, by the St. Christopher and Nevis Police. No firearm was found. Sadler's Secondary was moved to a remote learning to facilitate the search. They will remain on remote learning on Friday, November 3rd, and return to face-to-face instruction on Monday, 6th November. The Permanent Secretary stated that in consultation with the St. Kitts Nevis Police Force, key measures were recommended. The Ministry of Education will continue to work collaboratively with the police to ensure the safety of its staff and students in its facilities. Mrs. Pistana expressed thanks to parents, staff, and students for their patience and cooperation.
that I'm quite happy. Who sent you the second one? The police as well?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the police is well informed and they have good information. Schools are places where we have vulnerable people, unarmed people, and we have masses of people. This would have been the second incident for the year. I'm not sure if anybody is paying attention where firearm and gun violence is in close proximity to school. On February the 14th, a security guard was gunned down on a school premises.
Yes.
So this is the second incident of gun violence. And so I am happy there was reaction, but I also want us to appreciate the stakeholders of providing quality education is also the public, the parents. And so what was quite interesting for me is, what's his name? The man, Shaq. I can't take off the mask.
Okay.
So what was quite interesting for me was Shaq. Model Cop,
Yes.
that's his social media. He, he's on the scene at everything. He's taken the position of being a community commentator, reporter, and he gets the message across. He's doing quite a good job. He was videotaping and, engaging with the school population. And a teacher said, I cannot comment. I cannot comment because afraid they transfer me. They have done it twice before.
It's interesting you say that because I was looking at a clip by a student when it comes to Mother Cop, the same page. And someone asked me while I was looking at it, why did he interview the student? Why didn't he interview the teacher? And I said to the individual, it's quite possible that teachers would be very hesitant to speak on the matter, not only because they want to get more information, because even if they do have information, a lot of them are afraid to speak out of retaliation. And the reason why I said, the reason why I say that too is because there was an instance where it is that on the Sandy Point Secondary School SEMS page, the head teacher posted a note indicating that children, because of, I think the situation was that the buses weren't coming, or buses didn't come at that time, and sometimes the school meal at that time had been late. And so it was just a reminder to parents to give their children pocket change in the event that these occurrences arise. And then you saw the post taken on the next day. And there was speculation or the assumption that that individual was told something to remove that post. And so it creates the environment where it is that
you can't talk. I asked Jamster to play a song for me, just maybe the first 7 seconds. It's The Mighty Sparrow. Dan is the man.
And do that, and don't forget the clip.
Yeah.
We have the
so
clip of the student.
let's play the clip from the student as well, so we
yeah.
could hear. And again, this is what the police has said, and this is the official report from the police. And I want to say thank you for the report. This is one of the students who was there.
Listen to the student, and then we could listen to Sparrow.
Yeah, let's do that. Okay, here we go.
Student council. So we are here with. What's your position?
The president of the student council.
Can you tell us what's happening here at Sadler's Secondary School this morning?
Well, it is alleged that a gun was found, but no proper search was done by the police, and the Ministry of Education is not taking this seriously. So we are now on strike because we don't feel safe here, the teachers don't feel safe here, and they don't want to teach if they're not in a safe environment.
So you're saying a gun was discovered on the school premises?
That's it, alleged.
Who discovered the weapon?
I'm not sure.
You're not sure? And you're saying the ministry and the police are not doing enough?
They're not doing enough at all.
Well,
Yesterday, 2 police were here. They stood up by the gate, in there in the searching area, while the students were being searched, and after that they left. They didn't search the compound. They didn't do anything of that sort.
that was this morning.
Yesterday.
Yesterday the gun was discovered.
That is what was said.
Okay. Thank you for speaking to us. So as you can see, folks, police are now on the scene. Police have arrived on the scene, and according to the student,
Continue. We're gonna need lawyers.
So that was the comment made by the student. But of course, if you look at that comment, it's really different from what
It's
the police.
very different
That's what I'm
from
saying.
what the police said. The permanent secretary said, and the student is on the ground. The student is a stakeholder, and they are present in that community, and it is the president of the student council, which means they represent the voice of the student body, and they're bold enough, Azard, I hear, like, in Jesus' name.
So again, but if we are to look at what the police said that they searched the premises, because I don't want us to forget that point. They said that they searched the premises based on the report that I read, and that nothing was found. So,
but when did they search the premises? Because the child said they came. Let us listen to the Mighty Sparrow. Let's listen to the Mighty Sparrow, because it's very important.
According to the education you get when you're small, you will grow up with true ambition and respect from one and all. But in my days in school, they teach me like a fool. The things they teach me, I should be a block-headed mule. You tell me pussy has finished his work long ago, and now he resting and ting. Solomon Gandhi was born on a Monday, the ass of the lion's den. Winking, blinking and nod, sail off in a wooden sloop. The goody Lucy tail and the alligator fighting to make monkey liver soup. And Dan is the man in the van.
Jamster. And education and education commentary, of course, is my forte because I'm an educator. And this is the Mighty Sparrow. Dan is the man, that was released in 1963, the 1st of January, as a part of his The Mighty Sparrow album. And the Calypsonian, the Kaisonian, his responsibility, her responsibility is socio-political commentary. And so the voice in the community is a part of the community, is a part of sustainable community, and it's a part of community development.
Yes.
So critique of the education system is important for the development of the education system. Critique of the education system is imperative for the sustainability of the education system. And this song is a critique about the education system. In the year 1963 it was released. So before I was born, before my mother was born, Sparrow was critiquing the education system, because that is the job of the stakeholders of the community, to develop the community. The voice is important, you know?
And of course, we know Calypso was at the forefront of that at the time, and still. You know.
Yes. And places like Trinidad, you know, we have reggae. In Jamaica, in Barbados, we have that more academic approach. But the Caribbean griot came from a West African tradition where there were persons in the royal court who were appointed to tell stories and to remember the stories of the community and to comment. And so when I saw the teacher said, I can't say anything. She's a member, a worker, a stakeholder, and she cannot say anything because she's afraid to be transferred. And her fear is legitimate because it was done to her twice already. And so she spoke to a thing where institutionalized weaponization in education, and I'm sure it happens everywhere else. If you dare to take your civic responsibility and to voice, to add to conversation, to add to the narrative without permission, you will be punished. And when I heard that, everything inside of me started to ball out, because when did we become a country that needed to be silent to survive?
You know, that's a very poignant way to put it, for real. Yeah. Word.
So
Indeed.
let's talk about the student now.
And so we have seen here, and I do have a comment from the parent of the student. I just want to read the comment. Just to say that it is sad this happened. I'm hurting for the student who felt that he had to use this intended action to express himself. The response of the police and education officials leaves much to be desired. What if the student had been successful in carrying out his action? Would I have received a call to say my child was dead or injured? Totally unacceptable. Parents need to pay more attention to their children, give them the love they truly need and support to cope with being a high school student and living and surviving in these times we are living in. I thank God that everyone at SSS was safe. I am super proud of the president of SSS Student Council for her proactive and positive response to this situation. She gathered the students together and spoke to them and said what was going to happen. And she hashtag poor mama. And she also indicated that it's okay for me to use her name is Aline Springer. That's the mother of the president of the
So
the
we
school.
have the voice of the parent, we have the voice of the student, who are somewhat unattached from the education system. They generally can't receive direct punishment. So the narrative is being informed by social media, by the commentator and the bloggers like Shaq, the parent, the Ministry of Education, and the law enforcement, the police force.
And it's important.
But the teacher cannot speak. The teacher who works in the environment, who is responsible for stewarding the lives and the education of the young children, you cannot speak, because what you say must be in alignment with the most powerful narrative. Everything about that made me, fix it, Jesus.
I am around a lot of teachers, and even within, we have a caller. Caller, you're live on Island T.
Caller, go ahead.
Good morning. Good morning.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
Making that statement concerning the issue of the teacher being transferred, that is sad, and it's a fact. It have happened before. We have had good teachers move away from students in the school of which they teach,
In the
and move to another
communities.
school. And it have happened before, but you know what? It's supposed to stop, because that teacher become politically active and an activist in a political party and open their views. Good teachers, they move them from one school to another. Those are the things that remind me when you had segregation. When you had segregation, our people as a color, black people, were doing great. When you become integrated, what they did, they move all of the black teachers to teach them the white children and bring the dumb white teachers to teach the black children and set us in a backward position. The same position. How could people live with themselves? How can they sleep at night to know what they do to their own brothers and sisters? Can't we see that we all of the same? Why are you treating us so because you have some power? You gotta be crazy, man. Something wrong with you. Power get to your head. Power really reveal who you really are. Power don't change you. Power bring out the true identity of the person of which you are. How can you get in a power and treat you people that way? And they're doing it, and they're laughing and smiling. These people have good bed, but they can't sleep. Nice food.
And
But they
caller,
can't eat, they have no appetite.
and caller, to your point, you would think that the powers that be would use the input, the critique of the people as a barometer and a rudder and a compass.
You have to be a leader to do that.
Exactly. To
You
guide
have to
them.
be there is a difference between a leader and somebody who was placed in authority in a position and receives the authority of that position. A
We are
leader
not
is
learning.
responsible for getting
We are
feedback.
not learning. We are not learning from past experience. We must be reminded how we get here. We are here because we were sold by our own black people. That's how we get here, you know. I always say, close your eyes and see a white man running behind a black man in Africa and put him on a ship and send him to the Caribbean. It cannot happen. It takes black to sell black. And that is the way we're treating each other. No wonder we getting sick so fast and we're dying and nobody knows what's happened to us. Because inside we have done people so much hurt without any correction and failing to get any forgiveness for ourselves and ask for forgiveness for the wrong things that we have done, people. You can't do people them things. You have children, you have family. When you're going to make those decisions because you have other family around you, think about them. The sins of you will fall on your family and you. Only a matter of time. They have something that they call karma. Whatever you do, it's only a matter of time. It's going to come back to you. Think before you act. Come on, you have power not to shut down people, but to help each other. What the school need to do is get somebody when there's an incident, a person who's going to speak to the press, and if you say based on the principle and the action, you keep quiet because you don't know how to deliver. You will gather all the information, and so when somebody from the press comes, you say, let us have a meeting now, and you say, this is what happened, we contact the police and so on, and so not that you cannot talk because you're going to get transferred. That is fear and intimidation. You cannot intimidate people because you have some power.
Sometimes you can't even write.
I'm sorry to get on and dry out so long because this year, but we have to treat each other better. We can do better. Instead of that, we picnic and the country must be stagnant because we are not doing the things that we're supposed to do and the things that we are being paid for. We are doing other things, picking at other people rather than getting on with the job. Stupid, foolish. According to Limo, we act foolish like foolish people, and we have better sense than that. Sorry about the excitement, but I don't like people treat people that way. Just because you have a little power and over them, what are you, a slave master with the new whip? Who do you think you are? Come on, come down off of the high horse. Speak to people, not at them. Speak with them, not over them. You are working together. But those who are in a position to take orders from those who are in charge, take instructions and carry it out well. But you must think before you put people in those kind of fearful positions. I don't want to talk because I don't want to get transferred. Don't put people in those kind of fear. That can't happen. That can't be right. Sorry about taking up so much of your time, but
No problem.
get me kind of excited.
That is quite okay. And I was reading the Education Act yesterday, and on page, I have to read it quite often. You know, I'm an excitable teacher, so I need to know what my rights are.
Mm-hmm.
And Part 8 of the Act says professional duties and responsibilities. Every teacher has a right to be treated in a fair and reasonable manner. Every teacher has a right. I, Michelina, has a right to be treated in a fair and reasonable manner. And fair means without prejudice or discrimination. And so my participation should not be weaponized against me. My participation in education conversation, and the weaponizing of systems to silence people is something that I have witnessed, I have experienced myself, but my story to tell gonna be exciting. So not yet. I have seen it, Azard, in my short 30-something years, happen across all political parties. So when
Correct.
PLP is in power, you know, the comrades, oh, Timothy is a monster and he victimized and he hush, and it is true. Some people live the truth of it. When Labour is in power, Pam, people say, oh Lord, they do me this and Ratchet this and they bad, and it is true. And what scares me, Azad, because I'm taking notes and I'm writing history, because nobody gonna fool me off again. I gonna leave my story to be told. St. Kitts and Nevis is developing into a culture, regardless of politics, where the powers that be and those in positions of authority, not leaders, because leaders treat their followers differently, we silence you. And if we can't silence you with jobs and boards and monies and favor, we beat you into silence. And so we call that forced compliance. You must hush, because what you are saying, what you are adding, is threatening to how I want things to go. It happens across all political parties.
Yes, and I agree. And that is where, when I see it, I am saying, regardless of political party, it could be PAM, it could be Labour, it could be NRP, CCM, or PLP. The circle and the cycle has to end somewhere, and it's not going to end if we remain silent about it.
But I have to tell the young people listening to me, because a lot of them just come and say, I want to be like you. It is not without a price.
Correct. Correct.
Please listen to Auntie Mishi. You see me here on the radio. When I come off the radio, there are going to be some people that shake my hand and say, you know, Auntie Mishi, you have courage. Congratulations. As well as others, persons who are going to come and say, Isuto. She talked too much. The other day, I went to pay a bill, and they said, why are you not at a particular organization? It was me alone in there. So, you know, you think it's we balance and we talk. I said, why are you minding business? And somebody else said, she talked too much. They had to get rid of her. She talked too much. And the normalizing of victimization, because you have a voice, is creating a culture of oppression, a culture that we fought so hard for.
And before we take the break, Micheline, I am saying that persons could listen to the criticisms, make it better, and then that person who has criticized no longer have that criticism to carry in terms of that shortcoming on that behalf.
But you need criticism.
But then you shouldn't even be looking at it that way. You should be thinking about the common good. Oh, somebody made a criticism, a critique. Let's try and fix it so everyone could be better.
And that is the mantra of the labor movement,
not
for
to
the
shut
good
up the
that we
person.
can
It
do.
should not be about shutting up the person.
But people are in fear. And we're going to take the break and we're going to come back, because this is very interesting, because a lot of teachers come to me and I speak to teachers.
They come to me too.
And it's crazy.
But let's take a break and come back.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib. It's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
Hosford's, Carib, and OJ's present the Legends Calypso 10. It's explosive Calypso at Spratnet for Guy Fawkes Night on Sunday, November 5. On stage and on fire, Empress Lyrics, Alamulu, Lady Carrots, The Newcomer, Mighty J, Lord Payne, Lady Fate, The Undertaker, Ijo the Invincible, Westside, Reiko, Socrates, and more. Legends at Showtime, 8 p.m. and $20 admission. Your MC, The Cutter. It's Legends for Guy Fawkes at Spratnet.
Let TDC Financial Services help you go for your goals. Whether you're thinking of taking that grand vacation, down payment on a house, higher education, TDC Financial Services has various plans that will allow you to go for your goals. Choose from the Accumulator Plus, Investment Starter Plan, and Fixed Deposit. Ready to go for your goals? Visit us at TDC Financial Services, where money is made easy.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Everybody beware, you better prepare. Disaster can happen anytime, anywhere. Everybody beware, you better prepare. Disaster can happen anytime, anywhere.
Comprehensive disaster management is about every one of us being ready to manage any natural or man-made event like hurricanes, earthquakes, tsunamis, fires, oil spills, or volcanoes. It's about having your home or business prepared with an emergency plan as applied. It's prevention. Keeping your home, business, or community well maintained and safe. It's about being able to get your life back on track after the event. Will you be ready? Visit NEMA.kn or log on to NEMA SKN on Facebook.
Everybody beware, you better prepare. Disaster can happen anytime, anywhere. Everybody beware.
Merry Christmas.
Yes, and I think it is crazy because a teacher came to me and it's relation to the same violence in school. And the teacher said that there was a disruptive student and that the disruptive student, if disciplined, or let me say, when tried to discipline, ignores. And the individual said to me that they said to me that they're going to ignore the student altogether because to even report would cause some retaliation, student to teacher. There have been instances where students or things happen to teachers by students or in the circumstances, in the environments of the school, and it goes undealt with in the sense that the teacher has no satisfaction as a result. If you remember, there was some, we have 2 calls. Okay, well, let's take the calls.
Call, go right ahead. Okay, let's go. Oh, okay. I think that person's here. Go ahead.
Yes. Oh, we have another
Yeah,
call.
they're there.
Okay.
They're there.
Hello.
So,
Hi, good day.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
I was about to give the authorities the benefit of the doubt and probably say that they realize that an era of sensationalism and confusion is not the best environment for teaching. Okay? Perhaps they wanted to collect more information before coming out with a statement. But having listened to the timeline of events, it seems more like they're displaying what is it, Michelina? Her name is?
Yes, Michelina.
Yes, described as a culture developing, right, which is extremely bad,
dangerous
for the country. This is not the first time that you see the kind of tight-lipped response or delayed wait and see, hoping it will go away kind of response to things. Okay? And it is not, in my opinion, the way that an open, transparent, and accountable administration is run. Okay? I'm hoping that it changes. Definitely, there has to be some changes in the way things are communicated to the public, because I don't think they've adjusted to the fact that everybody now has a cell phone. It's not everybody now who is not afraid to speak. Actually, that teacher who said that she's afraid of being transferred and she's afraid of talking because she's afraid of being transferred, she actually said more than she thought.
Exactly, for the record.
Yes.
She put it on record because she was transferred twice already, so her voice is legitimate.
Right. And we know that has been customary in the past, not just in the teaching fraternity, but other parts of the of public administration. That they have this bad habit of not being able to deal with constructive criticism or criticism generally. Okay, sure, people will have their agenda, but that's the environment that you operate in a democracy. Okay, and the way to counter that is to come up fast, come up quick, with accurate information before the propaganda and whatever else gets out there. Right? So I think that they have quite a bit of work to do in terms of getting things done right and stop trying to hide things and push things under the carpet. That's not going to work in an information age day, right? You either put out your correct information or you get the propaganda and the whatever else inside there. Okay, so let's hope that, this is instructive. We understand, like I said, that you don't want to sensationalize things because you can always have the kind of copycat thing, and then, things start to spiral out of control.
Mm-hmm.
But you need to get a handle on this communications thing.
Yeah.
Talk to them.
And going back to it, in conversation, I don't know, there was an incident with a teacher at a particular school with the vehicle being burnt.
Mm-hmm. I remember that. I was there.
Apparently, nothing came of that incident
Mhm.
in terms of a resolution to the teacher. There was another incident that someone brought my attention to where a student had hit a teacher with a chair, based on what that person told me.
I know that teacher too.
And nothing was brought.
She was transferred eventually.
And
the teacher who got his car burned, he was transferred too.
Yes. So when you talk about these, and when people come to you and say these things, you're wondering, why isn't the ministry, and it happens, and I'm not talking about which political party is in power, I'm talking about the government as a whole, because we have to correct it regardless of who is in power. We have to see beyond political divide and political lines and think about us as citizens of St. Kitts and Nevis and see the ministry as one that needs some sort of...
I could answer as a teacher, because we need leadership. Leadership is very different from those who occupy positions of authority. A leader is responsible for developing the potential of those who he or she stewards and developing processes that is agreed upon. And the moment you can't have voice, you cannot write, you cannot give feedback, and that is penalized and the system is weaponized against you, we do not have leaders. Leaders are responsible for developing people. If I am in a classroom and I have a disruptive child, it is in my interest to figure out, okay, Johnny gonna jump from here to there to over there. Johnny is a kinesthetic learner. So you know what Johnny need to do? Hand out the book them, walk around with me, because I need to make his learning active. Michelina is a chatterbox. So if I put her by the board, she gonna talk to the board. If I put her in the back, she gonna talk to John. Michelina is a vocal learner. So I need to get Michelina to go in front of the classroom to teach because she like to talk. And I need to get her to do peer learning because she's going to talk to Sally who don't talk and engage learning and teaching that way. A leader is responsible for developing the potential of those who you steward.
And also evolving.
Yes.
Also evolving the organization and the system that they lead.
Yes. So it is very...
For the better.
It is very... And so when we see consistent evidence of victimization, of transferring and using transfers as victimization to hush, your input ain't necessary. And more importantly, your input is disruptive. We creating a culture of oppression. My lovely labor admin... There's a call?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Call or go right ahead.
Yes, good morning.
Right.
And good morning, my friend daughter, Miss
Lucy,
Reno.
yes.
They tell me so every day in town. Anywhere I travel, they tell me I talk politics too much. Politics is life, Miss Reno. And be strong. When these non-progressive elements meet you and telling you chat too much, keep on chatting like a water pipe. Run it like a water pipe. Because we're going to defend them kind. We're going to fight down them kind of things. I want to speak briefly about what's going on over the years in the school all of a sudden. Bad management, this handpicked party hat on who put as supervisors at the schools, this is where you will get. Until the rest of the government don't usher in and bring some level playing field, this thing ain't going to change, and we're going to fight it, you know. We're going to fight it. So, I'm looking at you, Miss Helena, in the years to come, to play a vital role in education for the rest of the government. Azard,
yes.
I want to ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
He have a young man used to work in an institution in town for 30 years. He's a special child.
Mm-hmm.
And he used some sanity, and they just told him away just like that, without a letter. As I explained to the country about the Workers Act through the Labor Department, because his brother, who is much more votes than him, came up to the Labor Department. And vagabonds up there telling the young men them, they can't do nothing. We have strong labor laws in this country, filtering in that department. Whoever do that up there, they should go home. Because there's an enemy of the state. How about that? Explain it to the country. And I got something else to come at you with. Because men like that, you know. Other men like what you do. You is a liar. You don't let other liar who feel like they all of a sudden they're just bigger than you. When the Labor Department, when what do you call it? The people who represent workers have a seminar and they invite any political party, they should go. We got to get away from this stigma.
And jam down.
Political party trying to look political points. Nah, we have to educate the worker.
Jam down, and I completely agree with you on that point. I completely agree with you on that point.
Sorry for the language, but you gotta put it over like that.
Yes, I completely agree with you on that point. Completely. If political parties are invited to events and the trade union, as you said, I think that, that's my view. That's my personal view that they should go. Also, in relation to that, you speak about somebody, we have to see whether or not that individual is appointed, whether that person forms part of the civil service or if that person was there on contract. So there are a lot of factors behind that before we even go into that. And so we know that if the person is a civil servant and appointed, there are certain protections awarded to a civil servant as opposed to someone just on a contract, because in contractual agreement we govern those things. So we have to look at that needs to be more information given to that before you could even give an informed opinion. So as it relates to the situation, what we are seeing and from the dialogue is that it seems as though there is an issue within the school, but the issue isn't being addressed in terms of when you have violence and stuff. There's no intervention. Sometimes the student perhaps is transferred to a different school, so the problem goes elsewhere rather than trying to rectify this.
And I mean no offense when I say this. You remember when the Roman Catholic Church was having the issues with the priests, and instead of chastising the priests, they just transferred them to one parish. It's a very hands-off approach. And let me just put this disclaimer out there. Leadership is hard. In any form, leadership is hard. It is easy for me to sit here in the chair and to criticize leadership and to criticize systems put in place by leadership. That is easy to do. So I'm going to be accountable to that. It's much easier to do this than to get out there on the front line and to lead, right? But leadership. We have a country where everybody is so afraid in the systems that instead of leading from the position you find yourself in, and I am talking from personal experience here, you're asking for a sense of direction, you're asking for a sense of purpose, you're asking to understand, and you have leaders watching you in your face and saying, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know, as if it's a sort of, as if it is not a sort of abdication of responsibility. Like omission to act is not equally harmful and hurtful. But I don't know is easier than being responsible and accountable to what should be done. Because dear you in the system, speak out a turn, speak out a line, speak not to what Massa has approved, you will become the next victim. And so again, we silent to survive.
And you know, that's a recurring theme here. We were talking earlier this week about, I think...
I don't know?
No, meaning the whole thing of people just responding to stuff they don't like, or talking about stuff they don't like, and the powers that be, rather than trying to fix the problem, they climb up and get defensive and
I don't know. There's a lot of I don't know. And St. Kitts and Nevis, I will tell you about my transfer when I get it. I'm certain one is coming if it's not already there for me. Because this is how we deal with teachers who have voice.
And another teacher was telling me just the other day that, I don't know, trying to say it in a way that nobody know the gender, that person was threatening a transfer as well.
Yeah, man, proper.
I was just thinking there's a lot of either gender, so they can't narrow it down.
To be as vague as possible, because nobody goes say they tell me something and then I have to take the transfer.
I'm certain there is one coming for me, there is one there for me. I'm in the middle of one.
Okay, I was trying to squeeze in. There was a call. I was trying to squeeze it in before the break, but okay. I guess it dropped out. But yeah. So,
I think the point that we are making is that, and of course, there's someone on the Facebook page that says that I have a total respect for teachers and for authority, but a lot of teachers are also not diplomatic. So it's two sides of a story. They go on to say that we have to be careful in giving teachers a clean pass when incidents happen. Situations must be fully investigated before actions are taken. We live in a culture also where people just run with the first thing you hear, and you can't beat propaganda. I totally agree with the powers that be to keep things closed until they get the full information, the full picture, and the sensitization has faded some. Because it's the same people will say they rush to judgment. So that's a comment.
And I think that is valid.
Mm-hmm.
But what do they mean by not diplomatic?
May want tell them about themselves, so I mean an answer, because
that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So I mean, so if
teach theater arts.
If something happens, why should you beat around the bush in order to express what you don't like? What does not diplomatic
My partner
mean? That makes
is
no sense to
teaching
me.
me, Colin Brown, sorry for outing your business. He tell me I have to pay for therapy holistically if I'm going to use it for content. We're not going to go 50-50 anymore. But my partner is teaching me the difference between a leader and a warrior. One of the difference is the leader has to be able, you have to be skilled and self-control enough to, when you're in the midst of a battle, in the midst of chaos, to leave that chaos, go up on a high mountain or balcony and look down. And the purpose of looking down at the chaos or the battle is so that you can understand who the players are and what their intent is. You can't see, you can't understand, you can't decipher the information if you're in tactical hell. So you have to remove yourself. And so silence is important, it's strategic. Looking at everything is important, it's strategic. But so is honesty. I think so is honesty. And so when you have the child giving a story, the child who was there, and then the police giving a different story, two very different stories, it begs the question of, who do we trust? And if trust is removed from a working situation, if you can't trust your leaders, if you can't trust the police officers, Lord, when I get me transfer, I'm going to tell you, okay, we're going to read the letter on air in Jesus' name. It's hard to work. It's really hard to work when we don't trust each other. And that is what the leadership should do. The leaders are responsible for creating psychological safety. That is a term in, you learn in therapy. At work, at home, where people are brave enough. You're building a culture of courage instead of a culture of fear, where people are brave enough to fail, to make a mistake, to say, my brother died of gun violence, and knowing that a gun was here drives my anxiety through the roof, and I don't feel safe. I can't function. How do we have conversations where people feel psychologically safe to add value and have that value, have that verbal contribution inform the development of this space that they're going to work in? Because the administration, my good Labour government, we said we're working towards a sustainable state. And the sustainable development goals, those that I like are, that apply to me, are quality education, number 4, decent work and economic growth, number 8, reduction of inequality, number 10, and partnershiping to achieve the goal, number 17. So if we are going to move towards a sustainable state, then we have to provide quality education. That means equity of voice in developing the work and the learning space is important. A decent working environment is important. Reducing inequality means all of our voices must be heard. We must feel seen. So if you're going to develop a sustainable state, we are partners in this development, and we must be able to define sustainability. Y'all think it's a nervous when I come and I start to cry to our eyes to rub me back and give me a malt. You hear me? Because I don't know.
And the thing about it, you have made so much good points, and I think you are so passionate about it because you are living in it.
Yes,
and so you are, you're experiencing it. Because I am here telling of stories that teachers have said to me, where you are living the stories of those teachers. And in the same regard, another criticism or another point was that you hear messages from, the ministry and stuff about technology and stuff, but some of the schools, they're way behind when it comes to technology. And I don't want to pinpoint where I got the information from in terms of a particular school, but the
education is hard, Azard. Me gonna sit down here and pong them for everything. Education is really hard, and it is hard because it is a living organism. It's literally children running up and down the place.
Yeah. And so, as we take our break now, we just want to encourage person. And of course, it's not an attempt on any party or any government, because we're talking about the Ministry of Education holistically, regardless of which party is in power, because at the end of the day, these are children of the nation.
And teachers. And teachers are important.
Yes.
And criticism is important. As I said, Dan is the man in the van that was Sparrow criticizing the education system in 1963, before I was born and before my mother was born. So criticism of the education system is important to the sustainability of the education system.
And before we go on a break, I just want to emphasize, we're not going after any particular political party. We're talking about the system, because the system is greater than the party.
Amen.
Yes.
From the South, 98.9. Save the
date, November 18th from 2 to 8 p.m. at Greenland's Pasture. The Tourism Fest is back. Join us on Tourism Boulevard and be entertained by all cultural acts and live performances by Vibes International, Dijon, V13 Family, Akayo Suite, and more. Enjoy a domino competition and live demonstration, all hosted by EK The Real Right. Explore our island romance, Flavor Mignon, Rum Spot, Sweet Blocks, Tours Galore, Sense and Sensibilities, Agri-Tourism Zone, and Kids Zone. This year's theme, Regenerative Tourism, investing in a world of recovery, venturing beyond sustainability. Don't miss it, November 18, Greenland's Pasture, 2 to 8 p.m. Be a part of the adventure. The Tourism Fest, where culture, entertainment, and sustainability unite. See you there.
Hosfords, Carib, and OJs present the Legends Calypso 10. It's explosive Calypso at Spratnet for Guy Fawkes Night on Sunday, November 5. On stage and on fire, Empress Lyrics, Alamulu, Lady Carrots, The Newcomer, Mighty J, Lord Payne, Lady Fate, The Undertaker, Ijo the Invincible, Westside, Reiko, Socrates, and more. Legends 10 showtime, 8 p.m. and $20 admission. Your MC, The Cutter. It's Legends for Guy Fawkes at Spratnet.
Here are your Hosfords Value Mart IGA specials.
Running November 2nd to November 15th.
The more you shop, the more you save.
In November, get double points on dairy and frozen items.
Now, our Value Club Blue Tag specials. Essential Everyday Mayonnaise, $17.99. Arm & Hammer Liquid Detergent, $34.99. IGA Margarine, $23.99. IGA and Essential Everyday Frozen Waffles, $10.99. Blue Bunny Ice Cream, $22.99. Pringles Chips, just $9.99. And now, our very low weekly
value deals. Gatorade's $4.49. Dunkin' Cake Mixes, $6.99. Arm & Toothpaste, $14.99. Central's Vitamins, $44.99. Malto-Meal Bagged Cereals, $12.99. Minute Maid Punches, $8.99. Shop Smart, Shop Value Mart, and get double points for more rewards today.
Continuamos en el mes de noviembre con los puntos dobles y las recompensas. Sea listo y haga sus compras aquí en Value Mart.
Back on the bully when Jack on down. Back on the bully when Jack on down. Back on the bully when back on the bully when back on the bully when Jack.
And we are back. It's 9 minutes after 9 o'clock. And I just wanted to let you guys know. I think I sent it to you. I don't know if you got it, but Richie Bunton. His son is a track and field star, and a lot of people don't know the Pan Am Games are going on in Santiago, Chile at this moment. There's been a lot of controversy among people who follow track and field because it happens every 4 years. It's almost like a mini Olympics for the Americas, but it hasn't been promoted and it hasn't been promoted the way it should, and there's been a lot of criticism of the people who run the games because none of the big athletes who we saw at World Championships a few months ago showed up. So the good news though is that Richie Bunton's son Nadal, Richie, I hope I'm pronouncing his name correctly, Nadal Bunton, he earned a bronze medal last night in the 200 meters. Awesome. And so I'm going to play a short clip.
Yeah.
And then
congratulations.
Yes, congratulations. Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm going to play a short clip and then we're going to hear from Richie Bunton himself. So here goes Nadal Bunton earning himself a bronze medal at the Pan Am Games in Santiago, Chile.
Well, congratulations for this bronze medal.
Thank you.
What it means for you, this medal?
It's been a long season. This will be race number 50 for me for the season, so happy I ended it off with a medal here at the Pan Am Games.
How did you feel in the race?
I felt great. My start was really, really good, and then I tried to just turn over as much as possible, and the guys on the inside of me, they kind of kept going, but I kept going with them. So that's all I wanted to do. I executed my race almost to perfection.
And what is the message for all the country, for all the people of St. Kitts?
Hey guys, all the kids out there, you guys can do it. Just like I did it. Keep working hard, keep prospering. I'll see you guys soon.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Awesome.
And, yeah, he ran 20.67, by the way.
Oh, that's very good.
Yeah.
Yes. So, actually, the person who sent it to me last night, I was telling them, I really hope that I know usually psychologically when athletes do well at a high level, it makes them it creates a lot of motivation, and you have an Olympic year next year. So I hope that really rolls over into a big boost in confidence and so on and motivation. So
I think it's very good to see our athletes and athletes related to us.
Yeah.
That's a caller?
Oh.
Yeah, Richie, we calling his dad
Oh.
now. yeah. Oh. Richie.
What's going on, brother?
Hey, what's up? How you doing? Talk to
I
us.
ain't taking it easy.
Okay, so talk to us. We have Island T. We have the host Azard Gumbs and one of our guest hosts Michelina Charles Hazel here as well. And we just want to, before we go any further, we just want to congratulate you on because I know you were instrumental in his training and so on. I remember at one point someone had told me that you were one of the people who helped him with his training and so on. So tell us a little bit about his development and his getting to this point.
Well, it's been a long road through multiple sports. He's actually a multi-dimensional athlete from high school. Actually, his last year in high school, he actually won 4 gold medals, which I'm getting a feedback here. He actually won the 100, the 200, actually 5 medals, 400, long jump and triple jump that last year. And also prior to that, he was the top, one of the top football players in the high school circuit in New Jersey as well. But he gave that up just before his last year because he broke his hand like in 3 different places at the same time. I mean, same place 3 different times. So he gave up football because I guess he figured, because he's a bright kid, he figured he probably have problems getting a football scholarship, and that was very important to him. So he switched over to track and field. On top of that as well, he was a very popular baseball player as well, him and his brother.
Let me
his
ask you,
younger brother.
when did he switch over to track and field?
And they started in athletics and stuff and sport. They actually started from 5 years old in taekwondo, where both of them actually advanced up to a 50-degree black belt before they focus more on more other competitive sports.
You realize as you go along, you keep adding sports, right? for this one person.
Yes.
But you told me you also have a son.
They were busy. They also had no time to get in trouble. More power was actually to their mom, because later on the mother was more there than I was, because running up and down the place and stuff, and then when we split up and everything as well, and mother actually gave up her life to run them all over the place everywhere they need to go.
Okay. Let me
Sometimes
ask you,
even instead of working full time, she worked part time.
Did you speak to him before he went to Chile? I mean, did you communicate with him?
Yeah, I spoke to him before and spoke to him while he was there. We always, we communicate all the time. He always called me, especially if there are any little problems. I'm one of the first person he always called.
So what was his state of mind? I mean, prior to
there were some things happening in Chile earlier when he got there, because he was there as the flag bearer for St. Kitts and Nevis.
Oh, okay.
And while he was there were some things that was happening. Like the track wasn't ready, so he was there for days, couldn't train. And that was frustrating him a bit. But I convinced him to stay calm and find alternate ways of getting himself prepared,
Okay,
and so he relaxed a bit and did that.
Okay. Well, I just wanna, you can pass along our congratulations. I know the whole nation is rooting for him. You told me that you have another son that plays football at Iowa State University.
Yes, yes. Originally, he was at Kent, and when Deion Sanders stole the head coach from Kent and took him to Colorado, a lot of the players at Kent put their name in the portal for transfer, and about 8 different teams were vying for him, and he eventually chose Iowa, and he's doing very, very good at Iowa.
Okay, good. So we expect big things on that front. Okay, on the Calypso tip, you did send me 2 songs this morning. So anything you want to say about your plans for Sugar Mass before you go?
Oh,
Putting you on the
actually,
spot.
no, I won't be taking part in Sugar
No?
Mass personally, or in person, I must say, because I'm concentrating here on St. Croix, which have the carnival at the same time.
Oh yeah, because you're the reigning king. You're the reigning king in St. Croix, aren't you?
Say it again?
You're the reigning king in St. Croix.
No, I'm
Somebody
the
told me
reigning king
that.
of the Virgin Islands.
The Virgin Islands.
But but for the St. Croix for the particularly the competition in St. Croix, I came second for that competition in December, prior to going to St. Thomas.
Okay.
Yeah, and to be honest, I didn't really prepare for that one. I had 2 songs just sitting around. Well, I had 1 song sitting around, and then I had and it's just actually it's a song I wrote for someone in St. Kitts that the song that they used for the first song they did not make it to semifinals. Actually, they didn't make it to semifinals. So I had that song sitting down called The Fourth Branch, and I didn't feel like really writing anything new because at the time I wasn't set up, because I have my own little studio.
Yeah.
And I didn't have it fully set up, so I didn't want to try to write anything out of the format of which I'm accustomed to writing, because I don't write the old school way anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I like taking a pen and a pad and sit down and writing. I don't do that anymore. So because I couldn't do it the usual way I do it now, I opted out to choosing a next song I had laying around, which is not typically considered a Calypso competition monarch tune. But I decided with my experience and my skill level that I could make the song work. Okay. So I went and I executed and came second. A lot of people say I should have won, but that wasn't really a big deal for me, So, but for the powers that be St. Kitts, I would have juggled both competitions, but because we don't have any proper airlift to and from St. Kitts and St. Croix, that would be out the question,
Okay. Well, I think you might be pleased to know that Caribbean Airlines announced a few weeks ago that they were buying 12 additional planes to fill the gap left by Liat. So probably very soon you'll be having airlift. You won't have a problem on that front. Okay, Richie.
I no. You would hope because they might St. Croix always get bad end of the stick.
Okay, yeah, I see what you mean there. Okay, Richie, we out of time. I just want to congratulate you. The whole nation is congratulating. Now, by the way, how do you pronounce his name? Is it Nadal or Nadal?
It's Nadal. It's spelled Nadal, but I don't pronounce it. And it's because I actually combine because I have a nephew named Dale, and so when I named him, I did that, but I don't pronounce it as Dale. Is Nadal.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, congratulations on the success. And I was telling Michelina and Azard that I really hope that translates into motivation and fire and confidence for
Yeah,
next
and
year's Olympics.
I think you do much. Yeah, I think you do much better moving forward, especially like how he's not in collegiate competition anymore, which actually is a big burnout for folks in college.
Okay.
Because the collegiate system actually kind of like overwork them trying to get the points system for the schools.
Yep.
And as I think now that he can be more relaxed, you know. And just so you know, he graduated this year with a master's degree as well.
Oh, okay. Congratulations. In what field?
Yeah. All right. Labor relations.
Labor relations. Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Wait, did I say it wrong?
No, it's okay. Nadell. Anyway,
okay.
both of them would be okay. Both of those would be okay. Nadell.
Okay, Richie. So I'm gonna wish the proud dad
right,
a
thank you,
great
Gumbs. Appreciate
weekend
it.
and congratulations. Be sure to pass along our love and congratulations to
Yes,
yourself.
thanks to the panel as well. Appreciate it. Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, so that was Richie Bonten.
Yes, such a proud father. In fact, I don't think he could hear us, so
he seemed like he was having some issues. I don't know, the WhatsApp calls have been sounding like trash.
Rosalind, I just want you to know that you should call the radio station and boast about me. Okay? I just think it's about time, you know.
You guys want to
I'm
take
a
a call?
good child. Sure, please do.
Go ahead, yeah. You go ahead.
Go ahead.
Say hello.
Hi.
Oh, yes.
Hi, good morning. Peace to each of you.
Good morning.
Okay, I'm calling, and I could speak from point of view, but I'm going to touch on the topic you all were talking about this morning, with the school.
Yes.
But I just want to say congratulations to the gentleman and your robotics team and their successful representation of the Federation throughout the world, so to speak, and to put St. Denis again on the map in a different field. However, the incident at the school, I could talk from a policing point of view, because I used to be a police officer. I'm into law enforcement, I'm into security.
Yes.
And the police can only deal with something that is reported to them. Likewise, the teacher, if something is reported to them. But let us remember, the principal is in charge of the school, especially during the day. So anything happen or doesn't happen, if it doesn't reach the principal cannot have an accurate assessment. Same thing with the police. Remember, the police based on information received. Now, I think someone mentioned about who to believe because the student had a different view of what happened to the police. Remember, it could have been a student reported to the police, so the police could only speak to what was reported to them. And based upon investigation, we should have seen what they would have seen. Remember, during school time, unless a crime is, the police cannot just walk onto the school and start doing things, so they have to get permission from the teacher. I hope everybody realizes that, because the teacher is responsible for the school. And therefore, the police have to respect the authority of the school. You are following me so far? Even though people might believe the police have a right and hear them everywhere, if they do that, then the principal will, well, why am I here? So I just wanted to remember, also the students have also responsibility in all these things. If someone hit them, doesn't mean they have to hit them back. And I believe we forget that aspect. All of us were children and we know what it is. Teachers, police didn't born police, adults didn't born adults. At the end of it all, when we reach a certain age, all of us are responsible for our actions. I do not want to touch on the that I'm into, as I would know, and those who know my voice, but I just want to keep it strictly to the situation at hand. What happened is fortunate, but at the same time, since I'm into law enforcement and security, there's a term in security, especially private security. The fear of crime is greater than the reality of crime. So I could understand the teachers and students might feel fearful of what happened at the school. Is it happening all the time? So there's another thing we have to look at. And give the police the opportunity to come in and properly carry out what they have to carry out, honor the guides and guidance of the teacher, because at the same time, the rights of certain persons have to be recognized, and the authority of the principal must be recognized. So the principal, along with the principal, gives the police authority to come in and do something. And even the ministry is the head of the place. So if they say, okay, principal, the police are going to come and do this time, no problem, but cooperation is very important. And when I used to be a police officer, I used to go on and talk to the principal. I used to visit schools. So maybe that's something all the principals throughout the federation could do. Invite the police now and then to come in school. Maybe that might be a deterrent to young persons who might want to do otherwise. So that is my take on it. And for us to be patient. And for the teachers, yes, it's just one incident. You should know more than the police what happens daily on the school. And if there is fear in the school, then don't be afraid to call the police into the school to bring peace and safety. And at least peace of mind for everyone in a safe environment. Okay, because that is what the police is there for. Not just to lock up as we say normally, but it's to inform persons of what the actual police is there for. The protection of life and property. First duty of the police is the protection of life and property. Investigation and so forth comes after, because that's when something happens. And I am one who into security, whose security is more about prevention. We prefer the police to get that sorted out.
Okay. I want to say thank you for your contribution.
Let us be careful and let us be let us wait on the police and let us everybody cooperate to get not only that particular school, but crime in general in St. Denis. Because remember we had a murder just the other day. So therefore it's our country. Let's pray for the peace of St. Denis. So God bless you all. God bless St. Denis. Thank you very much.
Okay. So thank you for your contribution. A comment was here saying that when the incident happened on Wednesday, the occupants should have been made to remain there. The premises and everyone there should have been searched. Because if you realize, even in the police article, they mentioned October 31st, 6:30. I think they had initially gotten some. Let me go back to that article because
I think they said the report was made at 6:30.
So it says that on October 31st, 2023, approximately 6:30, the police was officially informed of a possible security breach. So that would have been already in the evening when the school would have been closed.
I think as well, one of the suggestions I made yesterday in order to deal with the crime and the violence among young people in schools is we can appreciate that the gun being there allegedly, the individual, the child, the adult, whoever brought the gun to school, using the gun or want to use the gun, sees the gun as a way in which to deal with conflict. They're using violence to resolve conflict. And so it is incumbent on us. It is the responsibility of the adult and the teachers and the principal and the ministry to appreciate that they have very limited skills to resolve conflict. And conflict is a very normal part of human relationship. It's a very normal part of community. And so we need some conflict resolution skills to be taught.
Yeah.
And that sort of programming could be one of the solutions. So he mash me show, he bite me, he teeth me things, he hit me, he bullied me. How do we resolve conflict?
And I want to touch too, because someone said about, teachers saying out things in diplomatic ways. And I encourage that, respectful ways and stuff like that. But oftentimes, I don't think when I hearing the teacher speak, it's not a situation where it is, or when they come, it's not a situation where it is that they might go on the Facebook or make just do a lash out. Just talking within their environment and having an opposing view on certain matters, even in the confines, seem to be an issue. I think that is where and maybe you could speak to that, the conference. Because even speaking out, maybe, I don't know how often their visits and checks and persons speak, but it seemed like it's not necessarily going on Facebook and saying something, but even expressing themselves in a private environment with stakeholders. In addition to that, I want to say parents do hold a lot of responsibility, because you find that even these young teenagers, a lot of parents would say they don't know what to do. And that is reality. Imagine when a parent of a teenager or young child says that they don't know what to do with the child.
That I say, I can't go with him.
Yeah, that's it. I can't go with him. I can't go with her. Well, most of these, I can't go with him. And so you have reached a situation where the child lives with the parent, and the child isn't an adult, because I keep saying child. So it's not an adult, it's a child. And the parents can't go with the child.
Azard, we live in a society that we are not allowed to talk about the realness of our problems, the realness
So
of...
I don't want to just say it's the ministry too. I want to say parents too have to take responsibility as well.
Azard, a lot of parents can't parent. And so if you can't parent, if you don't have the skill, we can't hold you accountable to the skill. And we can't tell you can't have sex and you can't breed. So the community is responsible, and it's social welfare. It's the Ministry of Youth. It's the Ministry of Tourism. They are our children. And so the sustainable state, in order to achieve the sustainable state, the SDG number 17 says that we must partner to achieve the goal. And so there are different actors and benefactors that must come into place to help parents who cannot parent.
Okay, we have Fireproof coming up next. I wanted to ask you a question, but we have to take a quick break. So I'll probably ask you when I come back, and then hopefully the officer will show up for Fireproof.
Yes.
Okay, so let's take a quick break.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is Win FM.
Rams the good food people, always there to serve you. Rams the good food people, locations right near you. Rams the good food people, in-store specials for you. Rams the good food people. Rams. When you need better service, Rams is always here. Better value, better prices. Rams is always here. Rewarding your loyalty. Rams is always here. We are community. We are family. We are family. Rams for you and me. We are community. Rams for you and me.
Get the drive with Lucasade Energy. Buy Lucasade and enter for a chance to win the grand prize of a Toyota Hilux. Plus, win up to 500,000 instant prizes, including Fitbit watches, GoPros, earbuds, Amazon gift cards, and free Lucasade. To enter, buy one of the Lucasade Energy promo bottles and look under the cap for your code. Enter it online or send it via WhatsApp, see press, and social media for details. Buy, win, and get the drive with Lucasade Energy today. Lucasade, taste the energy.
Okay, so we are back, and we can continue our discussion. And of course, we're taking your calls, so feel free to call us and engage. So, my question to you guys was, and just a discussion, and I'm sure the callers might want to weigh in on that as well. You guys think that parents should be held liable to some degree for the wrongdoings of their minor children under the age of 18?
Usually, if it's a minor and it involves something civil, you usually bring the claim in the minor by next friend, the parent. And this is just a terminology that you use, next friend. I've had matters with that as well. In the criminal court, you'll be tried as a juvenile, And so the punishment would be that of a juvenile, but the sentence and the stuff nonetheless. But it's an interesting discussion, and I think what is scary and sad is that when the parent in which the child lives and grew up with says that, you out of my hand, and it's a child, I'm not even saying adults, you fine, you could understand the adult. You can't really police or peer. Well, I don't want to say police somebody who's a grown individual, but when you have a child 13, 14, and so it makes me think that some sort of intervention need to be happening outside, where it is that can't we get specialists, persons who are able to see these things and really try to solve the problem.
Azard, we need no specialists. We need to be honest. We need to be honest and start to tell the truth. A lot of us know the father who riding the mother, who riding the daughter, who riding the son, and the incest mess with the son. A lot of us know the mother who is in poverty, and so she can't take care of her child, and so her child goes to the gang, and he goes to the gang. Not because he wants to be in a gang. Nobody does turn to violence because they think they're going to live to 97. You turn to a gang for status, for economic power, for social power, the same reasons that we turn to a degree. We have a lot of molestation, abuse, rape, neglect, parents who are on substance abuse, children who are using edibles unsupervised because their parents working 18 hours in the day to make ends meet. A mother is being abused but she not leaving. And so the children seeing that and the psychological trauma. And we have ministries who are charged with the responsibility of young people and development and protection, but they're undersourced, underserviced, understaffed. But we cannot tell the truth of really what St. Kitts is. You have people showing up in child protection services and probation and everybody just overwhelmed at the things that we see every day. And until we learn to tell the truth, no specialists from England and London and New York and Switzerland and Australia can tell me how to fix my St. Kitts are living in it. I done went to university. This is why we need conversations, honest conversations, and everybody at the table. The mother who gonna say, I have postpartum depression, my child 6 months and I don't want nothing to do with it.
And the standard thing. Oh, I can't go with him.
No. But if a mother is telling you she has postpartum depression, she child is for the past 3 months she don't like the child. Is she safe to say that? What is the support for her to say that? She has 4 children and a 5th one on the way, and she don't know how ends gonna meet. We have real situations that we are not dealing with, because we learn to walk around like a bunch of mocking pretenders, and when the consequences come to us, oh Lord, oh. Done with it.
We have
the callers.
Yeah. Caller, okay, let's go to the other one. Island T, you're on the air.
Yes, Chibondini, I know I took up a lot of your time in the
That's fine.
Yeah, I'm listening to you guys' program, and I want to take a little part in it. And it's also spill over to what we spoke about earlier as well, too. One of the things we need to do is probably couple, especially for young parents, teenage parents, or teenage expecting to be parents, make parenting classes part of prenatal care, and even beyond post toddler, while you try to see the toddler, you could also connect it to any social program that you advance to a young parent as well. Make sure that in order to get certain social assistance, they must attend a certain amount of hours of parenting classes based on, and this is now based on the situation and the position in which we are in. Now, the same thing as well. We need more youth organized, and this will come back to giving the example of my children. So we need more organized youth programs, especially sporting programs, from young. Like I told you, my son and I were in organized sport from the age of 5.
Yeah.
They had no time to get in any trouble.
But
You
Richie
understand?
Bunton, you have to appreciate that you live among the privileged set. And that's why I say we need to start having honest conversations. I was born when my mother was 19. I had a older sister who was born when she was 16. Today, my mother is still illiterate. How is she going to
I
put me
understand
on
that.
an organized sporting program when she working in the cane field? She can't afford it. She could barely afford to feed me. We need to start to...
We talking about that, we talking about no. I'm not going back. We cannot fix anything in the past. I'm talking about from going forward. No.
Richie, these are
That's what we
still
need.
very real situations. The
No,
cane
I
fields are closed,
I
but
understand you,
poverty is
because
still
just
real.
like your mother. Yeah, hold up. Just like your mother. Just so you know. I am the sixth of my mother's 7 children. My mother had 7 children before she was 30 years old.
Mm-hmm. Them the stories.
But my mother also never had a 9-to-5 job in her life. My mother worked at home. My mother was a homemaker seamstress. My mother had a little shop, and her sewing machine was right by the door leading into the shop. And she sat there doing her sewing for people while keeping an eye on the shop, while cooking for when we come
She
home
was a
from school
businesswoman.
for lunch. We still had a mountain ground that we used to have to go and attend. You understand? So, I grew up in Sunny Point. Some people in Sunny Point thought my family had money. We had the money. We were poor like hell. But we never went hungry because, like I said, we had a mountain ground and my mother made all our clothes. So we always dressed clean. So in a sense, we were rich, but not cash-wise.
But you had family. You had each other.
We had family. We stuck together. And my mother taught almost all of us, like me. I could sew. I could make a pants. I could make a shirt. You know, I happen not to really involve myself in doing it. But if I want to, I could do it. Because she impacted all of her skills on all of us.
Which is a testament
So
to...
sometimes you have
probably-
to use the things that you have. Because there's a lot of parents who was in the cane field that didn't have no money that also paid attention to their children. You have to pay attention to your children. And one of the telltales in raising children is the way they talk to you. Based on the way your child talk to you, you know how they behave out of your presence.
I need to file that away
You
for
understand?
future reference.
Say that again.
No, I say I need to file that away for future reference and pay more attention to my Mike too. Yeah.
Thank you
Yeah,
very
you have
much
to
for
pay-
your contribution, Mr. Bunton.
Thank
It's
you very much.
beautiful.
Yeah, great. And you need to call more.
Definitely. Definitely.
Once I have it, time.
Yeah, okay. All right,
Awesome.
cool. Okay, Richie.
Yes.
I don't know if I had said that. Did I mention publicly that there was no fireproof? I
Yeah,
told
you
y'all.
did.
I did? Okay.
I don't know if it was
I know I
public.
told
It
y'all.
came
Oh
through
no,
the-
I told. Oh no,
Okay,
that was
yeah.
private then. Yeah, it was folks. No fireproof today.
And
The fireman is otherwise.
Sankets, I want to apologize for my passion just now, but I think it's personal, even though it's not personal. Coming from a situation of poverty and abuse and everything bad and crimey and rhymy, we need to start to tell the truth. Until we start to tell the truth, we're not going to be able to come with solutions for our problem. Welcome, caller.
No, I think it dropped.
Oh,
off.
it dropped
Okay.
off.
The system always.
And the
somehow-
truth is that we have a lot of children in our systems who are not cared for. We have a lot of parents who don't have parenting skills.
Thank you.
And if we have parents who don't have parenting skills, we can't hold them accountable.
And I
We
think-
could provide opportunities to develop it, but if they're not interested, then we become accountable for the children.
Caller, you're live on Island T.
Yeah, good morning to each and every one of you.
Good morning.
I just called in to let you all know I'm having a problem. And I want the whole everybody to know that my phone is hacked. And I cannot get no WhatsApp from nobody or whatever. But one of the people to know, people going on hacking people's phone. And it's time enough that we take a step and do something. Not please.
Actually, caller, I got a warning yesterday from a programmer friend of mine who told me not to open some certain things that I might see on WhatsApp because it was gonna wreck the phone and so I don't know if it was one of those things that happened to you. So I'm sorry to hear. You might have to get on your phone, or yeah, they said it was gonna destroy the phone and so on. So.
Another thing that, thank you, Carl, for your contribution and sharing that information. People really have to be cautious. Another thing that I find is the promotion of, getting children before one is ready, maybe financially, emotionally, to get one, just for the one that getting sick. So you have persons at young age becoming parents, but financially and emotionally they're not ready. You understand? And I think that is a conversation as well.
Yes, and then therein lies the genesis of the parenting deficit. You then see where you have children, often children getting children, and like you said, no emotional maturity there.
Can I ask both of you a question? Do you think the ability to make good decisions is a skill, or you just be born with it?
I think it can be taught. It can be taught.
So good decisions
making
can be taught. What do you think, Azard?
That's a very deep question, because then it depends, one, on your circumstance, and it depends too on your and your level of to decipher to discretion. I think it all depends on discretion, and discretion is a mental thing. I think it's all inclusive. I don't think it's something you're born with. I think it's something that if you're given enough time you can learn. But I think there's also a natural element to it.
Yeah, what I left unsaid was that it's probably natural, but could be taught.
Is a taught skill. Poker players, gamblers,
chess,
they learn to make decisions. It's a life skill that we underrate, we don't know, but we should learn. And so, again, back to the sociology and the society. If I am living with my boyfriend at 16, my boyfriend is taking care of me because my mother is absent. She dead, she high, she got more children, she live with her boyfriend and being abused, so I need to go because, and my boyfriend, who is 25, is having sex with me. And he doesn't want to wear a condom. And I can't go to the healthcare to say, my boyfriend is, because I'm putting him at risk of getting locked up. The ability to make the decision to not be pregnant is not as accessible as it should be. And when we are talking about a choice to be pregnant, that is why conversations need to be inclusive, because you need to hear about the person who was raped and the person who was this and the person who was churched, and because they liked a boy in the church, they tell them they have to get married. And so you got married very early to be a good Christian. The society consists of very different circumstances belonging to very different people. And so when we come to the table, I can hear Naima saying, Grace.
You have a call.
Go ahead, caller.
This is very deep conversations.
Caller, go ahead.
Good morning, good morning.
Hey, good morning.
I want to chime in your discussion.
Yes.
For example, right, I've been going through a thing for over 30 years. Things happen, I get victimized. And I get victimized, the opposition party blowing out in favor of my side. They now get in power, Same thing happening.
Let me tell
And come out and explain exactly what's going on. Our take place and still taking place. AK-47 was pulled on me. I went and tell me who I'm going to produce 1991. This thing happened. Okay? Their position, of which they were the supporter of. Okay? They're getting power now. 1999. I produced a step was going Canada. I want to be thieving my money. I open my mouth and talk. See, I get victimized AK-47 again up in the mountain. Can't give me peace. And now, you need to gain power. The remnants, the Labour Party, two individuals, and telling me I can't work because I make Douglas loads. Can't give me holiday pay. Took the matter to court. I win my case, man. Almost 7 years for this matter come to a conclusion. I win my case. And the Attorney General like a lapsed here and give me my money until I did something else to that too, you know. During the time, I was not able to work on Sankit. I had some stuff from Hartford. Hartford take me to court. I could have gone debtor's jail. With the help of Almighty Creator God, my social security came into being. Detention. And I just saved him from going debtor's jail. The Attorney General want to give me my money. And he long overdue. Long overdue. It's like, hey, you know, when with someone, come a real prostitution, you know, the double deal. I get to another song and Charles, I forget the last part of your title. Get to
That's
another
okay,
song
Charles,
and
is
you
good.
understand what I'm speaking of. The victimized. But I'm telling you, me ain't gonna stop talking, you know. I'm saying, you know my voice. Azard, you know my voice too.
Yes.
And I know the general public. And this is what young people talking in from the top. It's like victimizing people. The children them learning. How come Kashai can't get here? How come he working so long and he ain't producing none? I got drip lines on my land and I can't plant nothing. But Minister of Agriculture. Bye. Bye. Good morning. Goodbye. You here?
Yeah. So, Richie sent a comment there. I don't know. He said, "What children always get children, even in my mother's time. A 14-year-old was much more responsible back in my mother's time. It's how we bring up our kids now." He said, "Make the boy buy the condoms or get them from the clinic." I don't know. Like I just told you, Izzy. I don't know if necessarily, a 14-year-old was necessarily a better parent then. She shouldn't have even been a parent.
Yeah.
But also, I think we've evolved to the point now where the things that we are the markers we're looking for now for parenting, we probably weren't thinking about those things back then.
And I mean, time has changed. In terms of society has changed. We have got more rights. We have been exposed to so much more in terms of technology, in terms of information, and saying to use a condom only superficially, it doesn't solve the problem. Still, that young person is still, not prepared, or still comes from a home that's not safe, and producing potential to produce a home that is similar to the one that she grew up in. So I mean, it's a very deep conversation.
For me,
Very
I
deep.
believe once the children are here, it's the responsibility of the parents. If the parents are not capable or willing, it becomes the responsibility of the state, and by extension, the responsibility of the community. I was raised by the state and the community. My parents were not capable. My mother migrated. My father was an addict. And so there goes I in every bad place if it wasn't for the grace of Market Street and College Street and my foster parents and my teachers and my state. There goes I. We have a responsibility to play, and we have started abdicating our responsibility Me not talk to she child because me want abuse me off. Let them their mind the train business. And so when the community stop raising the children are going to harm the community. You see a little 5-year-old come in the Chinese man shop and talking to the Chinese man like he 25. You manners him up. Done with it.
Facts.
Because if you ain't gonna respect for him, you ain't gonna respect for me. Done with it. You say good
Word.
afternoon and wait your turn. You can't even reach the counter.
Word.
He's an auntie in the community. Let the mother abuse me. Because abusing come with it is an auntie. So if I gonna correct your child and you ain't gonna like it, then you gonna abuse me? Okay.
Yes. Good point. We're moving away from the village model for societal committee, you know?
Hello.
Hey, caller, go ahead, yeah.
You could take seconds, can't get in. Watch you. Azard.
Yes.
I ask
You're fading in and out. What's going on with your phone?
Azard.
Yes.
You're the lawyer. You got guide these special head people getting knocked out in the workplace.
Mm-hmm.
Please to explain it to the country. Because I myself want certain things. I get sufficient from Moonlight. But down by the Tamantree University. The Palm Tree University, Splash.
Yeah.
Please to explain that. Mr. Lino,
Yes?
your father did not attic.
Sorry.
He just used to use substance, but he did not attic.
Okay,
You put
sorry.
that out there.
Okay, sorry.
I know the guy, knows him very well. Thank God.
Jam down.
Unity people.
Ja-
Don't tell me about pop.
Jam down.
You in a basement or something?
Jam down?
Yes.
Oh, what was the question that you asked about the
Special head.
you went down. I'm probably got to talk to
Jam
him
down, you're
outside.
waving, you're fading in and out.
Not sure where he's at.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Okay, jam down loud. We didn't dump you or anything. It's just that you're fading in and
I'll
out.
probably got to talk to
You have 1 minute left.
Talk to him to see what he specifically pressed in. But as we conclude this morning's program, it's really had been discussion stemming from what happened in the school yesterday, and looking at the school, and then moving from the school to the home to the communities, all inclusive approach. And society is complex. That's why you have laws. That's why you have studies like sociology and human behavior psychology. Human beings are complex individuals. We live in a complex world, and we try to, as much as possible, try to make sure through our comments that the place that we call home is a little better than it was before. So I want to say thank you to those who have listened, and I want to say do have a wonderful day. I hope that you have a safe and productive weekend, and God's willing, same time, same place on Monday.
Yeah, have a great weekend, guys. Michelina?
Goodbye, and thank you
Yes.
for the love, St. Kitts and Nevis. Thank you for the
Yes.
love. I look forward for the criticism. I'll nurture and water myself from it. Yeah, it does get a lot of criticism, but if you're going to put yourself out there, you have to welcome it. If I ask my leaders to welcome it, I myself have to welcome it, right? Can't be too thin-skinned, right?
True.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, guys, have a nice weekend. See you back on Monday, Michelina?
Yes, she should be back here on Monday.
Yeah.
I can't come on Monday.
You can't come on Monday?
Oh, you can't.
Okay.
I'll choose another day in the week if it is possible.
Okay. No problem.
Okay, Izzy.
Yes.
You have a good weekend.
You too.
Yeah.
How was the feedback on the wall?
Oh, good. We still on it.
The wall?
Hi.
She mean the Facebook wall.
Oh,
Hi,
okay.
everybody. See, I care about what you say and think. Yes.